I promise the title is not being dramatic. Yes, I had $22,000 in credit card debt. What a scary time in my life. What's going on, guys? In this video, I want to talk to you about how I overcame $22,000 in credit card debt in about 6 months, and the practices that I did, things that you could potentially do, and maybe some helpful resources to kind of get you out of that situation if you are very much like me. Now, I want to say that a big thing that Americans share throughout their lifetime is debt, and it's nothing to be ashamed of, afraid of, and it's something to kind of know that you're not alone in. And it took a lot for me to kind of realize that, because once it started building, it really started snowballing downhill fast, and it became very overwhelming, and I didn't really know how to get out of this situation. So a couple of things that I did was, first, I took an analysis of myself. Like, I realized that I came to this point where I was $22,000 in debt, and the last time I had looked, I was 15, and before that it was only 8, and before that it was only 2. Like, I kept telling myself that this is just a little purchase, I'm just gonna put it on this card, or I can do this trip, or I can go with my friends here, or I can eat this or buy this thing. And I wanted that sense of, that little rush of that buying something, or that piece of gear, or that lens, or that camera gear. And I did that over and over again until I found myself well within debt. Like, it just kind of became a thing in my life. And even though I was in debt, I still went out and bought more stuff. If I had a credit card free, I had space for more debt, and that became the problem. I began to put myself in a hole that was very hard to dig out of, that I am very lucky to have gotten out of. But I just want to make this video to help encourage other people, or help people recognize that it can be an uncomfortable thing. So let's talk about the problem. What I did, I often spent more than I had. That was it. I 100% spent more than I had. I would get college refund, I would take out college loans, and I would get like a $6,000 refund. And I would spend I have no idea, like $3,500 on food throughout the semester. I would buy like random camera gear, and then I would spend money on my credit card, and I would double dip, because I was like, I'll pay this money off with my refund. So I spent $3,000 on my credit card, and then when my refund would come in, I would spend that $3,000 instead of putting it on my credit card. So it was a very unhealthy habit of double dipping, is what I call it. And plus, I would always tell myself, this is an investment, XYZ is an investment. I work in camera gear, I work with videography and photography at the time, and I would always say, hey, this is an investment, don't even worry about it. You're gonna make your money back. But when your money barely helps you stay afloat, it's not worth it. So that analysis came back, and I found myself just sitting in a pool of 22K, and I was like, how can I fix my problem? I think I used an app called Mint to completely document exactly how many expenses that I had, and then I put that against my income, which at the time was untaxed wages. So I made $3,000 a month, and I had $2,900 in expenses. So your boy had $100 left, and that is not good at all. So I was able to recognize a few things. I clearly need to try to lower my monthly expenses, and I need to raise my income as much as possible. That $2,900 sadly included like $800 in credit card payments that I was paying to about 5 to 6 different credit cards, which was just the minimum payments, which means I was still getting like $120 in interest per month to each of those cards, and it was super bad. Originally, I tried to do some balance transfers. I transferred a $6,000 balance from one card to another, and I had 18 months no interest to pay it off. And when 18 months came around, I had that $6,000 plus like $12,000 more because I continued to use the card that I transferred from. I know it's insanity, I know it's madness, but that's literally the route I took. So the main thing I needed to do was change the habits. I focused on habit change. I found healthy mindset resources and healthy spending resources. I watch channels like Matt D'Avella. I listened to podcasts like Dave Ramsey's. I demystified spending and these habits and these things that I just impulsively did. And I focused on bettering myself and bettering my spending habits. I then proceeded to simplify as much as I could in my life, and I tried my best to become financially literate because I was completely financially illiterate. I just didn't know. I just got money, bought things, and bought more things with money I didn't have. I didn't even pay taxes because when my tax bill came around, which came around like last month, it was an additional $8,000 that I had to then pay out of savings. So I paid off my $22,000 in debt plus my $8,000 in taxes. So overall, it's like $30K. So what did I do? The first 2 months, I took any and everything that I had and I threw it at my debt. I tried to just get rid of it. I didn't have savings. Nothing I had was mine because I was just drowning in debt. So that worked. Not really. The next thing I did was try to consolidate everything because the interest was eating me alive. So I did a debt consolidation loan. I think mine was from Lending Club. Nothing sponsored. I just picked a debt consolidation thing and worked on that. Doing that helped me consolidate about $15,000 worth of loans into a single $400 a month payment. That was so much breathing room, and that was a huge first step. So that big first step really helped lower my monthly expenses. Now the big thing I needed to do was focus on raising my income. Now, as a person who basically I am my own boss, I was able to go out and take a minor risk with my income. Now, your first instinct would be to get as many jobs as possible. No matter what they're paying, I need to work so I can get money. But instead, I chose not to do that. I decided to take a different approach. A little bit risky, but well worth the payoff in the end. I decided as a videographer that I would partner with design agencies to fulfill their video needs. I would focus on building a relationship so that in the long run, I can land larger projects and work less and still have my sanity and free time, and I don't have to devote myself to doing, all of these additional projects, because I've been there. I've taken super cheap work in plentiful amounts, and it's not healthy and it doesn't do anything for you in the long run. I would rather do one good project for $1,000 a week than 5 projects for $200 a piece. That's just the way I roll. So after investing a lot of time in building the relationship, investing time in perfecting my craft to be able to deliver to a higher standard than what I was used to, the clients that I had built relationships with were able to trust me with bigger and more budget-friendly jobs. So then I was able to land videos that had a $3,000 budget more consistently. As a freelance videographer, I was able to take these risks and make more money. And I was able to do these things, which if you are in a similar situation, I would 100% recommend. It takes time to build relationships. And people want to focus on their one-off jobs. They're like, where's this next grant coming from? Where's the next paycheck? But I employ that you invest the time in building a relationship with a person and serving the needs of their clients as if they were your own. So once I was able to produce results, I was able to take my $3,000 a month, barely kind of making it on my expenses, and I was able to transform that into $5K and occasionally $10,000 a month, which is amounts of money that I had no idea that was out there for me and that I would never have probably gotten if I didn't educate myself financially, if I didn't educate myself on the market and value the work that I did. So with that additional income, I was able to throw all of that towards my debt, and I was able to throw all of that towards saving, and any amount of income that I could spare goes towards paying off this overwhelming weight. And because of those risks and because of that strategy, the steps I took, the people I watched, and the habit change that I endured, I was able to pay off my debt in about 6 months. Like kind of unreal in my opinion, because it just wasn't doable. The plan was to try to pay stuff off in 2 years, 3 years, because I had dug myself in such a hole. But focusing on relationships, focusing on delivering and being the person that can, you can be a reliable source for video material. Whatever aspect of creative that you may be dealing with, focus down on that, build relationships, and aim for these larger projects, because that is what's going to help you in the long run. So what do I recommend? As a freelance videographer, hit up design agencies. There's probably a lot more in your city than you know of. Like, go to them, ask to speak with them, build a relationship with them, start the conversation, see if they need videos, see if they need something to help bridge the gap with their client, because that's an additional service that they can offer through you. Next, focus on changing the unhealthy habits in your life. Delayed gratification is absolutely incredible, because I chose to just get this thing right now. Ooh, this new camera, I got it. Oh, this lens, I want it. And in the long run, it did not work out well, and it became an unhealthy burden on my life. So grind up, tell yourself no, and practice patience. You absolutely have all of this under control. You truly do not need that new camera or do not need that new lens. You can work well with what you got, and if you absolutely need something, save up for it, and please don't fall into the credit card trap. And if you use credit cards, please use them responsibly. I use credit cards now. I pay it off every month if I use it, and I rarely use them. I would focus on finding healthy mindset sources. As I said, I listened to a lot of Dave Ramsey. I watched a lot of Matt D'Avella. I focused on finding happiness within myself, and then financial literacy. And I think Matt has a couple of books that he would recommend. I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi, Dave Ramsey, The Total Money Makeover. I love The Total Money Makeover because it helped me realize that I am beyond broke. I'm negative net value in my life. I still am. I still have student loans. So, oh, what a world we live in. So find a friend, have those uncomfortable conversations. It's okay to be vulnerable with people. It's okay to let people in. That was one of the things that helped me not feel so overwhelmed. I just talked to people about it, and I just kind of got it out there, and I didn't feel so alone. Alongside that, I simplified most of my lifestyle. I simplified my wardrobe. I built routines in my life. I have processes that I go through in my daily journey, just things to help you be, healthy mentally, physically, and financially. So yeah, that's the advice I have. You absolutely got this under control. If you were in a situation that was much like the one I was in, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and I am super excited for your future. But with that all being said, that's all I have for today, guys. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you loved it, consider subscribing, because I'm bringing you more content just like this every week. So you guys stay safe, you're loved, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.